you know, oxygen deprived or whatever you want to say, it's fine. I'm just telling you what it was like for me. So I said back to whatever messenger it was, I said, okay, I'll go take care of some affairs. As soon as I find a place to stay and a way to get to either LA or San Francisco, I'm gone. Okay, how's that? So I started paying my bills, not for the first time, but and got a call from a girl I'd met in DC. Peter, I'm in Long Beach, which is, as you know, very close. And she said, "I've just you can stay here if you ever come out." Walked into a bar. People, I don't even know that I knew these people. Said, "We're driving out to LA. Want to come?" I arrived in Southern California, actually in the end of June, '65. The girl that I had gone out there who was putting me up was working at a club called the Golden Bear. It was a lovely, there's the logo. And I set about trying to find work. But where there were 9 clubs within 4 blocks walk, now there were 4 clubs within 90 minutes drive, and I didn't have a car, and you know, and I was hitchhiking everywhere. You could in those days, but it wasn't all that reliable. And you know, one day I was just all discouraged, and I kept wandering into the Golden Bear, presuming upon my relationship with this girl. And basically, you know, my welcome was getting a little thin. People were starting to do this. And I walked in there once, and I got the vibe that I had absolutely overstayed my welcome. There was nothing left for me to do but somehow hang it up. And an assistant manager came up and said, "Do you want to wash dishes and drink beers and bus tables?" I said, "Yes, please." And so I got, you know, I started working regular, put a little money away. And I did that for about a month and was having a pretty good time of it in Huntington Beaches, you know, great place in '65. It's back in the circuit capital of the world. About a month later or so, I guess it was, I said to the owner, "I've had it. I'm bored. I'm going to push on." He said, "Wait a minute. Remember you were going to accompany some acts. You were going to get some acts in here. I promised him I'd provide an accompanist, and that's you." "Oh, yeah, okay, sure." So I wound up playing blues guitar for a singer named Lynn Hughes. I played acoustic stand-up bass for a Supremes type girls trio. Yeah, the girls are cute too. And a couple of guys came through. One's name was Ron Long, and the other was Stephen Stills. And they called themselves the Buffalo Fish. There's Steve and me and some other kid. The Buffalo Fish. On the last night, the announcer called them the Buffalo Chicks. Okay, so I did all the things I was supposed to, play piano for the Buffalo Fish, and about ready to pack up and go, and Steve calls me up. Steve says, "Peter, I just met a guy, I thought he told me he met this guy at a party, a producer who is making a TV show based on A Hard Day's Night, and you should go try out." And I said, "What about you?" And he said, and I quote him directly, "Well, they kind of liked me," he said, "but they thought my hair and teeth weren't going to photograph well and weren't going to be telegenic. And did I know anybody who looked like me who had 1/10 my talent? And I thought you'd be." I got him back. He had to settle for CSNY. He's never forgiven me. So I tried out, and you know, lo and behold, I got the part. Now we got the part. We made a pilot, which, as this being in the industry town, not I'm going to explain it to one person who's going to know what I'm talking about. Pilot, they make a movie, they make an episode, a half-hour episode or whatever, of the show they're going to make to give to the network, for the network to see what they might be buying. And we made the pilot, and they showed it to a test audience, and it tanked. It hit bottom. There has never been a worse score of a pilot than this one. I mean, there is no lower score than... and the producers of the show, Bert Schneider and Bob Rafelson, went home with it, and that's them. And you know, they puzzled over it, and just like an episode from the Monkees. And they suddenly realized that the reason it did so badly was because without something to help you get to know these guys, what you saw was 4 freaks creating mayhem where they weren't invited in the first place. And who wants, you know, who likes that? So what Bert and Bob did was they cut back on the action of the pilot and inserted what we called the personality tests. Now, this was the first thing they did to me when after I left the audition, after I left the office, I went up for the audition and I thought I had an in. I know Steve still. And I walk in the cattle taking number here, you sit down over here. And except for this one short kid who walked cockily through the office and then walked in a cocky manner right back out. Who is this cocky jerk? I came to love him. But he was still late. No. Okay. Anyway, so the next thing they did after meeting the producers was what they call the personality test. Now back to the pilot. Mike's and Davy's personality tests were cut into the thing, and because once you knew who these guys were, I had some inkling of these guys, got personal with these guys. Then it was fine that they were 4 jerks creating havoc where they weren't invited, and the pilot scored through the roof, and that's what got us how the show got sold. Now I'm going to show you my personality.